Hello, my name is Jared Zeck, and my project is on the roundabout at the intersection of Honore Ave and Bay Street.
This is the project location, and here we will begin to understand the project area. On the left of the screen, the highlighted area is US 41, a road used for north-south travel without using the interstate. In this area, we have a large residential community to the south and north of Bay Street. Here is the current end of Bay Street. Now this is the FDOT's plan for extending Bay Street to meet with Honore Ave, another north-south travel road that isn't the interstate. At the end of the extension is where the roundabout will be located. Also, Google isn't currently showing the brand new residential community that is being developed on the other side of Honore Ave. This will also be a part of the design for the FDOT. Now we take a closer look at the intersection. Here's the planned roundabout intersecting Bay Street and Honore Ave. Excuse my drawing skills, they're not the best. As we approach from Bay Street, you now see we have the ability to travel in both directions on Honore Ave. The area that is being shaded is a part of the Myakka State Park, a wildlife reserve and Florida historical site. And finally, here's the planned connection to the residential area of Lakewood Ranch. Let's talk about what the owner needs and how we plan to execute the design and construction phase to match those needs. This is the first step of any project and understanding exactly what the owner wants. The more information you gather on the owner's needs, the easier it is to deliver. And more often, the project goes more smoothly. This is easier said than done most of the time. The most important concern to the FDOT is safety. This is explicitly stated in the RFP that is posted for the project. That being said, since this is an extension project and the intersection options are only a portion of the project, we also need to be cost effective. FDOT needs a way to alleviate traffic on US 41, and since Bay Street already has the east and west capability, they have decided to extend it. This is where the need for the intersection at Honore Ave and Bay Street comes into play. They also want the traffic flow on Honore Ave to not be affected since it already provides an easy alternate route to I-75 for local drivers to get to Sarasota. The addition of the Lakewood Ranch community will also increase the budget. Now we look into the options that the FDOT has for the intersection. First is the signalized intersection. This meets the safety requirement for the FDOT, but does not quite meet the other needs of the owner, such as the traffic flow and economic costs. A four-way stop intersection could also be an option for the FDOT, but this can cause safety concerns and traffic flow concerns, although this is the most cost-effective option. Finally, the roundabout option, in which the FDOT has selected. It meets all requirements. And since we have recently put in a roundabout at another intersection more north on Honore Avenue, we now know the cost and effectiveness of it. This information makes the roundabout a better option for FDOT. Now we look at the initial estimate of the intersection project. This estimate is based on very little information and is just a general guide to the owner on what to expect with costs. Most costs are just within a normal average of what it costs for similar circumstances. A large contingency of about 40% is also equated into the initial cost estimate, as a standard way to alleviate the misassumptions. The FDOT is looking for the most effective option. The initial estimate is a pretty good way to show that this option may fit within their budget. We also use the information from the other job site more north on Honore Ave to help calculate the costs. This is essential for the owner. There are major categories commonly involved with the initial estimate of any roadway intersection design. These categories specify exactly what the money is being used on. Here are the categories used in this estimate: land acquisition, clearing and grubbing, consulting fees, permitting, surveying, materials, construction costs, signage and signalization, pavement markings, fill and cut, grading, sidewalk and safety measures, and performance turf, all coming to a grand total of $9,911,000. The delivery method of a project is one of the most important aspects and often overlooked. Historically, there have been three major options for an owner to deliver their project: the design bid build, design build, and construction manager. The FDOT is commonly known for using the design bid build form, so that's what we'll be using in this project. Design bid build is where the owner contracts separately with the design firm and the contractor. Design bid build's linear process is easy for owners to manage and understand. Owners have the ability to participate in the design process freely. The design team is able to act on the behalf of the owner and design to the owner's needs. Due to the reliability of the method, both parties are familiar with the process and understand what is being asked of them. Designers are more active with the construction, ensuring that the design is built as designed. Here is a graphic showing how the contracting documents is divided. As stated earlier, you can see that the owner is in contract with the design firm and contractor. You also notice that there is no contract between the design firm and the contractor. They are only required to use communication to complete the project. Subcontractors are in contract with the contractor. The economic analysis of the project highlights the revenue and maintenance costs so that the owner can have all the information necessary before construction begins. This is more of an improvement to life and transportation than a revenue increase for the Florida Department of Transportation. So the department will not be expecting an estimate for revenue, although it will be necessary to highlight the operation and maintenance costs. A cost-benefit analysis shall also be completed in comparison to other traffic intersections. The normal lifespan of a roundabout is estimated to be 40 years. Within that time, an initial construction cost, along with the recurring maintenance cost, will be in effect. After its lifespan, a replacement roundabout or a signalized intersection will need to be constructed. This diagram shows the initial costs of the roundabout construction along with the recurring maintenance cost. It also shows if a signalized intersection was built instead, the 20-year required replacement cost of the signals would affect the costs overall. It also shows the replacement costs necessary after 40 years. Here are three examples of the recurring maintenance costs. Cost 1. Road is in stable condition to ensure drivers are safe. This includes brushing and mowing, cleaning and repairing drainage structures, and clearing and repairing structures such as surface grade and subgrade. Cost 2. High clearance vehicle use. This includes blading done every 5 years, hazardous tree removal every 5 years, and sign replacement. Cost 3. Passenger car use. This cost is specifically used for the daily driver that use the road consistently. This includes all surface grade repairs and subgrade repairs. The schedule of a project is the most important piece. It controls not only when the project should begin and finish, but also controls the costs and prices of materials and overhead. This is why so much of the contractor's time is put into the schedule. The saying, "time is money," really becomes a truth when a schedule is either too early or behind. If the synchronization necessary for each part of the project is not met, money is being spent without progress. A schedule consists of a list of activities that have a duration necessary for it to be completed. to better understand how these activities relate to each other. These are categorized into early start, early finish, and late finish, which are self-explanatory. With this information, the calculation of total float and free float are completed. Here are the activities for this project with their given durations. Clearing and grubbing, 5 days. Utility excavation, 10 days. Utility placement, 15 days. Grading and fill, 10 days. Stabilization, 5 days. Placing base and sub base, 10 days. Friction course, 5 days. Curb and gutter, 5 days. Signage and stripping, 10 days. Performance turf, 5 days. Here's the activity node network for this project. As you can see, some of the activities are on different strings. This means while some activities are being worked on, others can be completed. There is also a critical path in which the activities need to be completed. Here's the final schedule and final calculations for the project. If you look through it clearly, you see only activity A has a total float. And you can see also the entire critical path. Each activity now has an early start, early finish, late start, and late finish. This is important to the project. When creating a project cash flow, there are a few items necessary. First, the owner must know how they are financing the project. Are they gathering loans? Or are they straight paying for this with taxpayer money? This gives the amount of money available and when it will be available. Also, the schedule must be completed for the project. These are the two items necessary for the project cash flow and payment plan to be created. Payment plans are important to the contractor. They issue how and when they will get paid for the work and materials necessary to complete the project. This plan will lay out for the contractor the information necessary for the payments. Here is the payment plan for this project. Each item is listed in the left-hand column, the description in the middle, and what month it will be paid for in the right. Let's go through it for this project. Clearing and grubbing will be paid for in the first month. Utility excavation in the second month, along with utility placement in the second month. Grading and fill in the third month. Stabilization in the fourth month. Placing base and subbase in the fifth month. Friction course in the sixth month. Curb and gutter in the seventh month. Signage and stripping in the seventh month. Performance turf in the eighth month. Now that this has been laid out for the contractor, we have the ability to pay him on time and get this project completed.